I'll be honest, as summer rolls in, I often get a little bit burnt out with my photography. And lately, I've been feeling like I need a bit of a reset. Now, a simple idea has really helped me to see my work in a whole new way, which has got me buzzing to go out and shoot again. So if you're in a creative dip, this might be just what you need too. So I've actually printed some of my Between the Hills photos over the last few days, which is a photography project I've been working on for about the last 10 months or so. And it's completely different, to be honest, to my regular landscape photography. And it's been great actually to be able to work on that project when the conditions haven't been ideal for landscapes. So because I've been feeling a little less motivated recently, I thought I would try out a brand new photo paper, and this one is called Matte Infinity from Photospeed. And I have to say, I'm absolutely loving it. It's got a very smooth, flat finish to it with a resin backing, and it's nice and weighty as well, and it really does feel like a premium paper. I think it really suits this project, so that in itself is a big bonus. You know, trying something new can often give you a little boost, can't it? Something that will, give you that spark to get out and shoot. Anyway, I've been looking through these prints and I'm really drawn to this one here. I love the colours, the old decaying walls of the general store. I do think it looks really cool. But I also enjoy this one of the old bistro. Again, it's the colour palette I think that I like. And it also features a telephone box. And it kind of got me thinking, since mobile phones, these old phone boxes are now used for many different things. You can see in this one that it is actually used as a payphone, but this other one here is being used as a community library. And this kind of got me thinking, why not create a little side project, a project just about the phone boxes and the post boxes. So that is exactly what we're doing today. And like I mentioned earlier, I've got a really neat way to bring a project to life that I think you will absolutely love. That's coming up later in the video. So I do have about 8 locations I would like to visit today, and honestly I'm really looking forward to it. It's funny, isn't it, how simply printing a photo has sent me down this path, and I think that's something worth mentioning. Sometimes looking at a print can lead you in a completely new direction. So this looks like a very interesting first port of call. And very unique. I've never seen flowers planted on the side of a phone box before. Right, let's grab the camera. So the phone box is absolutely amazing, I thought. Unfortunately with this one, the post box is bang opposite the other side of the road. So I'm just trying to make a composition here with the bus shelter behind. Trying to come up with something a little bit unique for each one if I can. Otherwise, it might get a bit samey. Yeah, a good start, I think. So I'm sure I'm probably not the first person to shoot these amazing old red phone boxes, but I want to try and make the project unique to me, I guess. So I'm thinking what I might do is try to create a phone box, the inside of the phone box and the post box from each of the villages that I visit, and then maybe shoot them 16 by 9 so I can fit 3 on one page or one print, so you get like a triptych of each individual village, which I think might help to tell the story a little bit better, and yeah, it might help keep the interest a little bit. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Every single shot 16 by 9, 3 shots from each location. Yeah, and maybe try to vary the compositions a little bit as well to keep things interesting. Right, on to the next location. So there's a fair bit of distance between these first two, but the rest of them are fairly close together, and I can just see number 2 ahead. be better if I had a high-vis jacket on. Getting some strange looks, especially when I'm shooting towards people's properties. So I'm being very mindful not to be too intrusive. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. So I've just pulled over for a quick lunch break and to take a look through some of the shots I've taken so far today. And this has become a bit of a routine for me, a quiet break to eat, check a few emails, maybe upload a few files. I think it's a nice way to stay on top of things while I'm out and about. Since I'm often relying on Wi-Fi in cafes or campsites or wherever I can find a signal, having a secure connection is really important, and that's why I've been using Nord VPN, who are sponsoring this week's video. Nord VPN encrypts my internet traffic so I know my personal info and the images I'm uploading are kept safe no matter where I'm working. And beyond that, NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro adds an extra layer of security. It helps to block things like malware or phishing attempts and other online threats before they can become a problem. You can check it out at nordvpn.com/Ian to learn more how that all works. Now, one of the features I use most is the ability to switch my virtual location. It's really useful for booking travel or accessing websites and streaming services, like unlocking different Netflix libraries from around the world. Now, my family absolutely love this because they can access shows that are just not available here in the UK. Now, there's a special link in my video description, nordvpn.com/Ian. Clicking it helps support the channel, and it also gives you an exclusive deal, 2 years of NordVPN plus 4 extra months. And if you're not satisfied, they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee as well, which is a fantastic offer. Anyway, a big thanks to NordVPN for keeping us safe and supporting the channel. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, we now have some cushions for the van, which is really nice. I ended up getting a local chap to make them, and he did a really nice job, I think. So yeah, thanks Steve if you're watching, much appreciated. I will be putting out a video all about the van very, very soon. So if that is of interest to you, be sure to look out for that one. Anyway, let's head to our next spot. I've got no idea what we'll find, but yeah, let's get cracking. One of the reasons I think little mini projects like this are so inspiring is because they are way less daunting than something that's a vast ongoing body of work. Simply put, it feels more of a fun project. If nothing else, I'll got out for the day, seen some new places, and maybe found some interesting spots to visit for my larger project. It generally feels like the shackles are off, but that being said, I would like to get 8 or so prints for this mini project. So phone box number 3 is different again, which is quite interesting. This one is an information centre, so let's take a look inside. So just a little bit of information in that one really regarding the village and some local walks, which is quite interesting. Found the post box as well, which is literally 100 yards further down the road. And it's a really nice little shot actually, some really nice flowers and ferns in the background. So I'm just framing it up centrally, obviously 16 by 9. Yeah, nice little shot. So this is so different to what I usually do, and I think that's the whole point of it, trying something different and just getting out and enjoying the process. And I've been thoroughly enjoying myself this morning. I found a couple of different locations that I'd like to revisit as well for maybe some landscape shots as well. The views across here are absolutely wonderful. Okay, that's another one ticked off. On to the next. And it always amazes me, how many different uses these have. In the past, I've seen DVD libraries, book exchanges. A lot have been turned into defibrillator storage facilities, and some, of course, are still phone boxes. I've got a couple more ticked off, which is great. I've got another one just here, which I'm going to shoot in a second or so. But I thought I'd just mention, I'm making a conscious effort today to wear my hat on the right way, because I keep getting comments saying, what are you wearing your hat backwards? You know, you're not 16. Are you having a midlife crisis or something like that? Well, the actual answer to that question is no, I'm not having a midlife crisis, or maybe I have been for the last 20 so years, I don't know. But the main reason I wear my hat backwards sometimes is because when I'm looking through my viewfinder, obviously my hand's at the top of the camera, and whenever I lift it up there, it just knocks your hat off, which is not ideal. And also, it depends which way the wind's blowing. If it's coming straight towards me, I'll spin it around, because I've lost about 3 or 4 hats over the cliff edges since I've lived in Pembrokeshire because of the very strong winds we have. So it's not about looking cool, it's just being practical. Anyway, let's go and shoot this phone box. I think creating something tangible, you know, is a great way to complete a photography project. If you've got something you can hold at the end of it, it's definitely more rewarding and more inspiring. And I think it inspires you to get out and shoot something else. You know, I often get asked about how to find a project, or do I have any ideas that might help others. And all that I can really say is that often a project will present itself to you, know, a bit like this one has to me. Had I not printed those images and looked into them a little bit deeper, I probably wouldn't be here now doing this. So maybe just look at your past work and see what resonates and double down on that specific thing. You never know, it may turn into something more long-term. Okay, so I did visit quite a few other villages, but I thought it might get a little bit samey if I continued showing you every one. So I thought what I would do is show you the finished prints instead, then show you how I present them for the final piece. So actually, a few of those locations that I found were very tricky. I found a lot of them had those telegraph poles sticking up out the back of them, and it kind of made the compositions feel a bit uncomfortable. I think this one here is probably my favourite one, just because of the simplicity and the fact that it's still a phone box. So yeah, I really did find some interesting things along my journey, you know, from information boards to libraries. Most of the post boxes were from Queen Elizabeth's reign, apart from, where is it? This one here, which is actually from King George V's reign, so somewhere between 1910 and 1930-ish. I think his reign was. So yeah, particularly old, that one, and it was quite interesting to find that. I didn't actually notice until I got back and looked at the print, but you can see the difference between the initials on the boxes. Queen Elizabeth's is ER and George V's is GR. So yeah, quite interesting. Actually, this location here was tricky to shoot, but yeah, quite nice having that old box in somebody's front garden, and obviously the King George post box. So I feel like I've definitely captured some historical pieces of paraphernalia here. And I think, you know, these old relics are slowly being removed as they degrade. So I think it's great to be able to record them. This one here is missing a door, so no doubt that will be taken away very shortly. Now, I did come across a couple of scenes that were not relevant at all to this project that I did manage to shoot, and I made a couple of prints of them for my Between the Hills project, and I'll show you them in a bit because I'm actually really pleased with how they came out, and probably the biggest positive of the day, I think. So I think these photos look really nice as individual prints, but because it's a body of work, I really wanted to create something that tied it all together. So I started looking into creating a book. You know, something similar maybe to my 30 days project here, which I did a few years ago. I think it's definitely a good option to explore, but it is a heck of a lot of work for something like this, which is, you know, quite small. So after a bit of hunting around, I decided to create my own book. So the covers are canvas, and inside there's a couple of blank pages before we get on to the prints. And because that print of the general store kind of sparked the project, I thought I'd start with that as the first print. And at the end, I'll finish on the bistro one as well, because they were the images that kind of sparked the project. Anyway, let me just flick through and you can see how the project has come to life. So the great thing about this is it's actually a binder which springs open, so the prints can be removed or you can add more to it if you take the project further. And I think this is a great way of quickly and easily bringing a project to life. You know, you can pick these up from varying different places across the internet, and I really do think it makes your project a finished, tangible item. And you know, if you get bored with your project, you can remove the prints and start a new one and yeah, make another book. I think this is such a fabulous idea. So let's take a quick look at the other shots I captured whilst out on the road trip. And the first one was of this old van here called Ernie, which I've passed numerous times but never shot. So it was really good to be able to get out and shoot this. I made a couple of compositions of this image, which I really like. An advert for the appliance doctor. I love the washing machines on the top, and the old derelict house at the back there looks absolutely fantastic and fits it so well. Then I moved on to a different location actually, and it was where the old King George postbox was, and just up from there was a community shop. And I really like this scene just here of the old postbox, another one, and some signage on the wall. I really like that, and the flowers complement it as well. I think it's a really nice composition and some nice history there too. And then just as I was on my route back home, I came across this wonderful scene, and it's of an old blacksmith's workshop, but out front there's an old classic car, and I just love the fact that the car matches the colours of the paintwork on the building, which is absolutely fantastic. And I just love how it looks like something from the past. Now, I spent a bit of time there working the scene, but the road was very busy, and it kind of got me thinking, you know, how could I merge the new and old together? So I worked on some sort of longer exposures, trying to get some of the newer modern cars coming past it and create a bit of a blur effect while still focusing on the car and the coloured doors and windows beyond. And I come up with this. I got really lucky, and I've got this obviously modern car coming past, just enough motion blur to make the colours streak a little bit, but it's how it frames the car. I took 2 or 3 photos, not many. As soon as I reviewed it on my camera, I just walked away because I knew I was not going to beat it. And yeah, I got a little bit lucky. So I think a key takeaway for me was trying something new today, something different, because after all, I think it's impossible to learn if we don't challenge ourselves, isn't it? So yeah, definitely trying something new is a great way to do that. Anyway, let me know what you think about this idea in the comments, and I do hope if you're looking for some inspiration, it might have given you some food for thought. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like, and why not subscribe for more weekly content like this. The link up here will take you to another video that you might enjoy, and the link over on this side will take you to my ebook on photography composition that you may also find helpful. Anyway, hope to see you all again next week. Take care.